The front door clicks shut. You hear it before your hand leaves the handle. A whine, then a bark, then paws scraping against wood. You're not even in the car yet, and the neighbors already know you left. Maybe it is the whining through the wall. Maybe it is the frantic scratching at the door frame. Maybe you have come home to a chewed baseboard, a torn cushion, or worse, an accident on the rug from a dog who is normally perfectly house-trained. You check the security camera on your lunch break and watch your dog pace the same stretch of hallway for 20 straight minutes, and it breaks your heart a little every single time. You have tried the treat puzzle by the door. You bought the calming collar that promised to help. You even tried leaving the TV on so the house would not feel so quiet. Maybe you even asked a neighbor to pop in halfway through the day just so your dog would not be completely alone. And none of it touched the real problem because your dog was never anxious about the silence or the empty house or being alone in general. Your dog was anxious about you specifically and about the exact moment you stopped being there. What if I told you that most separation stress has almost nothing to do with boredom and almost everything to do with one specific moment most owners get wrong without ever realizing it? Tonight, I'm going to show you the exact 5 minutes before you leave that either calms your dog or wrecks their whole day. A simple daily routine you can start using tonight to lower the panic before it even starts, and the real reason some dogs spiral into a full panic while others just curl up and nap until you get home. None of this requires medication, none of it requires a trainer, and none of it costs you a dime. If you saw the thumbnail, you saw the promise. Let's keep it. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Ben Carter, your neighborhood veterinarian, and welcome back to Dogma. Separation stress is one of the most common things dog parents bring to me, right up there with the paw licking we covered before, and it is also one of the most misdiagnosed conditions I see in clinic. Most of the advice floating around out there treats the symptoms. The barking, the chewing, the mess on the floor. Almost nobody treats the moment that actually causes all of it. And as a holistic leaning vet, that moment is the only thing I really care about. Because that is where the fix lies, not in a spray bottle or a new toy. Now, a lot of separation stress has a cousin, and that cousin is the paw licking I covered in an earlier video. I have noticed a real overlap in my own patients. Dogs who lick their paws raw are very often the exact same dogs who fall apart the second you grab your keys, because both behaviors come from the same overloaded nervous system trying to soothe itself the only way it knows how. If your dog does both, watch that video after this one. It will connect a lot of dots for you. Tonight, stop the panic before it starts. Build a routine your dog trusts. Find out why some dogs spiral and others don't. Step 1, the 5-minute exit routine. Step 2, the daily confidence build. Step 3, the real root cause. But in this video, we are going all in on what happens the moment you leave. The whining, the destruction, the guilt you feel walking out the door, and exactly how to fix it. Here is our plan tonight, and I want you to grab a notebook for this one, because these 3 steps build on each other. Step 1, we call them the 5 minutes before you leave, because that narrow window decides more than people realize. Step 2, we build a daily habit that lowers your dog's baseline stress, so the actual leaving matters less by the time it happens. And step 3, we fix the real reason behind the panic, because I promise you, it is not what most people assume, and understanding it changes how you approach everything else on this list. Step 1, the 5-minute exit routine. The 5-minute exit routine. Stop narrating your exit. No long goodbyes, no mommy will be back soon in a sad voice. Your dog reads your tone, not your words, and a sad tone tells them something bad is about to happen. 2, pick up your keys and put them back down at random times all day, several times, with 0 departure attached. This breaks the trigger link between keys and abandonment. 3, give a scent anchor. A worn t-shirt in their bed carries your smell for hours after you're gone. 4, leave without ceremony. No hug, no eye contact, no drawn-out farewell. Walk out the same way you would walk to the mailbox. I know that last one feels cold, especially if you have spent months feeling guilty every time you leave. It is not cold. A long, sad goodbye tells your dog's nervous system that something worth being afraid of is coming. The same way your own heart rate would spike if someone hugged you tightly and whispered that everything was going to be okay before walking into surgery. A boring, forgettable exit tells them the opposite. You're not withholding love from your dog. You are withholding alarm, and that is a gift, even if it does not feel like one at first. But what if your dog is already mid-panic before you even reach the door, keys or no keys, ceremony or no ceremony? That is where the daily work in step 2 comes in, because a dog who feels secure and confident all day long simply does not have as far to fall in those 5 minutes. The exit is calm now, but if the whole day feels shaky, 5 calm minutes will not hold. Step 2. The daily confidence build. The daily confidence build. Practice fake departures. Grab your keys, walk to the door, step outside for 10 seconds, come back and like nothing happened. Repeat several times a day, stretching the time slowly over days, not minutes. 2. Give your dog a job during your actual absence. A frozen stuffed toy, a slow feeder, something that takes real effort so the first 10 minutes alone are spent working, not spiraling. 3. Build independence inside the house too. Have your dog rest in a different room while you're home, even for short stretches. A dog who can be 15 feet from you without panicking is a dog who can handle you leaving the building. 4. Exercise before you go. Not right before, but earlier in the day. A dog with spent energy has less fuel left over for anxious pacing. Caution: never punish your dog for what happened while you were gone. That chewed cushion, that accident on the floor, that is not defiance and it is not guilt. That guilty look you're reading is actually submission and fear of your reaction, not an admission of wrongdoing. Punishing after the fact does not teach your dog anything except that you coming home is now something to dread too, which makes the whole cycle worse. Question transitions matter here too. What if your dog does fine with the fake departures, but still completely loses it the second the car actually leaves the driveway? That happens more than you would think, and it usually means the fear was never really about the door at all. It is about something deeper running underneath the whole pattern. And that brings us to step 3. Before we get there, one more mystery I want to plant because it is one almost nobody talks about. There is one specific mistake almost every owner makes with crates, and it can quietly turn a genuinely helpful tool into the exact thing that makes separation stress worse. Instead of better, I will show you exactly what that mistake looks like in a moment and how to avoid it going forward. The exit is calm. The days are steadier. Now we go to the actual why, because the why is the part that lasts. The root cause. Why some dogs spiral and others don't. That instinct runs deep, and it actually explains more about your dog's daily behavior than you might expect. Dogs are a pack species, and that is not just a talking point. It is written into their entire biology. For most of their evolutionary history, being alone meant being vulnerable. A dog left completely by itself outside a den was a dog exposed to predators, unable to hunt in a group, and unable to signal for help if something went wrong. That instinct did not disappear just because your dog now lives on a couch with a full food bowl and a locked front door. Some dogs inherit a stronger version of that instinct than others, the same way some people are naturally more anxious in crowds while others barely notice them. Add in early life experience on top of that inherited baseline, a dog rehomed too many times. A puppy taken from litter mates too young before it ever learned how to self-soothe. A dog who has only ever had one single attachment figure in its entire world, with nobody else to fall back on. Stack those factors together and you get a nervous system that is genuinely primed to treat your absence as a real threat, not a minor inconvenience, no matter how many times you come back. This is also where the crate mistake comes in. A crate used as a calm, familiar den from puppyhood can genuinely help, because it gives a dog a small, defensible space that feels safe. But a crate introduced suddenly, used as a punishment, or used for the first time during a moment of high stress, becomes the opposite. It becomes a box your dog associates with abandonment. And that can deepen separation stress instead of easing it. Caution: do not reach for a bark collar or a shock collar to stop separation barking. It may quiet the barking, but it does nothing for the fear underneath. And in many dogs, it teaches them that being alone comes with pain on top of panic. That almost always makes the anxiety worse over time, even if the noise stops. Quick recap. Step 1. Calm the 5-minute exit. No long goodbyes, no ceremony. Step 2. Build daily confidence with fake departures, jobs, and independence. Step 3. Understand the pack instinct underneath, and never use the crate or a collar as punishment. So let's bring this together. 5-minute exit routine, daily confidence building, understanding the instinct underneath it all, and using the crate as a comfort instead of a punishment. That is everything we covered tonight, and each piece supports the others. Here is the golden rule, and I want you to actually hear this one. You do not need all 3 steps running at full speed starting tomorrow. If you only do one thing this week, make it the boring exit. No long goodbye, no sad voice, no ceremony. That single change alone calms more dogs than almost anything else on this list. And it costs you nothing but a little bit of pride. The rest can build in slowly day by day, the same way trust builds in slowly between any two beings who care about each other. Your dog is not broken, and your dog is not being dramatic for attention. Your dog loves you enough that being away from you actually registers as danger in their body. The same fear response you would feel if someone you depended on completely disappeared without warning. That is not a flaw in your dog. That is the deepest, most uncomplicated form of loyalty an animal can offer another creature. And it deserves patience from you, not frustration. Every single time you walk out that door calmly, and every time you come home and greet a settled dog instead of scolding a nervous one, you're proving something small but important to them. You're proving that you always come back. You are proving that the house is safe with you in it or without you in it. That kind of consistency, my friends, is what slowly turns fear into trust over the course of weeks and months, not overnight. But it does happen, and I have watched it happen in dog after dog in my own practice. If this helped you understand what your dog actually goes through in the moment you leave, tap that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more dog parents who are dealing with the exact same thing right now and do not yet know why. And if you have not yet, hit subscribe because every single week I break down another piece of what is actually going on inside your dog's mind, one honest video at a time. Now I want to hear from you down in the comments. Is your dog the type who panics the second you so much as touch your keys, or the type who barely lifts their head off the couch when you walk out the door? Tell me which one below. I read every single comment. See you in the very next video.